Okay, so this is going to be a really, really valuable email. So in this video, we're talking all things email marketing, Klaviyo, e-commerce, abandoned checkout emails, that kind of stuff. So what this video is going to cover is basically the structure of a winning abandoned checkout email. I'm basically going to talk about the anatomy of a winning abandoned checkout email. I'm going to talk a little bit more about why it's really, really important to personalize your abandoned checkout emails. And then actually, if you wait to the end, you'll see I'm actually going to go through and chop this email up, upload it into Klaviyo, so you can see our process for transferring these really beautiful designs into Klaviyo and obviously keeping a really nice design style. So first things first, what you'll notice when going through and having a look at this email, and you know, this is a sample brand that I've taken. It's a brand that I've been seeing a lot of. It's called Zimmer Dental. It's been popping up on my feed a ton. They sell a really, really unique product. Basically, this dental pod that uses a really unique mechanism through like ultrasonic waves or something to clean, you know, mouth guards, retainers, things of that nature that obviously, you know, get bacteria build up, etc., etc. So they've come into the market with this really unique solution. Obviously, that's, you know, not brushing it or, you know, the typical stuff, and they're absolutely crushing it right now. So I thought that we'd do up an email just to use this as an example because these guys are obviously crushing it. So let's go through and have a look at the structure here. Okay, so first things first, what I want to do is sort of break down the anatomy of a winning abandoned checkout email and sort of just go in depth on each individual section. Now, what you'll notice is this abandoned checkout email is purely focused around this brand's one main product, right? And this is exactly what you want to be doing in your abandoned checkout emails, right? Too many brands I see sort of throw together these generic abandoned checkout emails, which can kind of be used for every single product. But what you want to do is in your abandonment flows is you want to split people up based on the specific products, or at bare minimum for your best selling product, make sure you have a separate flow path. Now with our clients, we do this for every single product category or, you know, product, depending on, you know, the brand. But at bare minimum, you want to have a separate flow path for your best selling product or your best-selling collection. And the reason you want to do that is it allows you to talk about all of the benefits and get really, really personal on that specific product throughout the entirety of the email. So if this was a general email where all of this brand's products were getting, you know, featured, we'd have to keep it really sort of broad. Whereas because it's personal, we can talk about the specific points, show specific reviews, all that kind of stuff, right? And I'm actually going to pull up an image to show you what that actually looks like within Klaviyo. So here we are in Klaviyo, just to show an example of what I'm talking about here. So this is sort of in the middle of an abandoned checkout email, obviously with the checkout started trigger. And as you can see here, like I mentioned, instead of sending people down a generic flow path, what we're doing is splitting people up based on the two main collections that this brand has. And like I said, what that allows us to do is get very, very creative. So for this brand that we're doing the mock-up for, Zimmer Dental, if we go over to their website, we'll notice that they really sort of have this dental pod as their main product. They obviously have other collections and stuff like that, but this really is their best selling product. This is what they're pushing heavy on paid social. So at bare minimum, what we would want to do for this brand is go through and make sure that we have an abandoned checkout path that's specific to this product. So obviously we can get creative with the personalization, etc. So that's the first thing. Now going into the actual structure of the email itself, right? Very, very simple abandoned checkout structure up the top here, or just email structure in general, with a headline, sort of telling them a little bit what the email's about. So obviously it's an abandoned checkout, you left something behind, and a call to action to finish checking out, right? Now here, further down, this is where we want to have our dynamic product block, our dynamic product section. So obviously we'll pull that in once it's uploaded into Klaviyo. For now, we just leave it blank, and then another call to action after the dynamic product block. Okay. Then in the next section here is we're really going in depth on this specific product. So we've got a brief sort of copy section here, and then basically got some fascinations here, some bullet points, you know, focused around the benefits of the specific product. But obviously we've done it up in a very nice design section, so it's really easy to read and skimmable. And that's a very, very important aspect of email marketing, is when you're designing emails, you need to make sure that they're skimmable and they're really easy to read. Big blocks of text do not work. Okay, you cannot just chuck everything in a big paragraph and expect people are gonna, you know, take the time to go through and read that. It needs to be easily skimmable, because most people are gonna come through here, read effortless deep cleaning. Oh, yep, safe for various appliances. Yep, dentist approved technology. That's it. They're gonna stop there, right? So if this was all one big copy section, they wouldn't even bother going through and reading it, right? So you need to make it skimmable and readable. And then a review section down the bottom. We absolutely love throwing reviews in abandoned checkout emails. Oftentimes, a good review is all the customer needs to make that next step, right? Social proof, it's as old as time. Absolutely needs to be featuring social proof and reviews in your abandoned checkout emails, right? So that's the structure of a really good abandoned checkout email. Like I mentioned, centered around the one product, so we can talk about the benefits of that specific product. Obviously, features reviews. Obviously, this is a really nice design template. You don't have to get creative with it. As long long as you have all the course section in there with the photo of the product, all of the benefits, some reviews, all that kind of stuff, you're good to go, right? Now, as mentioned, what I'm going to do here is go through and basically upload this into Figma to show you the process, our process of uploading Figma designs into Klaviyo. I'm sure, different people have their different processes, etc., but I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So the process that we use for uploading Figma designs into Klaviyo is basically using an image slicing method where we go ahead, slice up the entire email into various image blocks, and then upload all of those images into Klaviyo as just image pieces, right? So the process is super simple. Basically what we're going to do is select the full container. We're going to hold Alt and drag to copy it. And then what we're going to do is basically just slice up the image into its core sections, right? So we're going to hold Control and drag it up, which is basically going to shorten the email into slices. And I'm just going to speed run this section. Perfect. So as you see here, we have all of our core slices now ready to export. Now, the exporting process is super simple. Basically, we're going to select everything and then hit export 6 layers. I always go as a JPEG. Just as a general rule, you want to keep your image slices relatively small. You don't really want images over 300 megabytes in your emails, right? You want to keep them very, very small and because when they're getting sent to inboxes, if you have massive images, they're going to take really long to load, and it increases your likelihood of actually landing in spam as well. So you want to keep your image slices small as a general rule. So I always go JPEG. A 2x size is usually okay. Sometimes we'll obviously have to resize images to make sure they're not too large, etc. But this is generally okay. So from here, we'll go export 6 layers. It's going to zip them all up. And then basically from here, we can jump over into Klaviyo and upload all of our slices. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that now just to show you how that's done. All right, so I've just opened up a blank template, deleted all of the sections because in this case we won't need any because obviously we're uploading all image slices. So the process here is really, really simple. Basically all we're going to do is just drag in all of our sections. So I'm going to speed run and do that now. Alrighty, so now here we are in Klaviyo. Basically, obviously sliced up all our images, uploaded them here, and this thing's really starting to come together. Obviously we can have a look how it's going to look on mobile. Obviously everything's mobile optimized, which is great. And now for the finishing touches, obviously we need to link everything up and then add in the abandoned checkout dynamic block in the middle here. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's a block that will render the items a customer had exactly in their cart or had at checkout in this instance. And the reason we want to keep that dynamic, because if they took multiple items to checkout, so it wasn't just this dental pod, let's say they had a Zimmer Go or some tablets or whatever in their cart as well, we want to show all of that dynamically, okay? So even though the email is centered around this one product, even if they, if they added, a bunch of other products to their cart, we will obviously want to show that here and give them the option to see all the products that they had in their checkout, right? So the way we go through and do that, it's a pretty simple, straightforward process. You just need all of the correct dynamic links, etc. So I'm going to do a document and I'm going to compile everything into one document and then I'll link that below this YouTube video as well. All right, cool. So as you can see, I've just pulled in the dynamic product block. So basically all you need to do is pull in a table or a split in this case, and basically just copy in all of the links here, basically the dynamic links, dynamic image blocks, all that kind of stuff. Now, like I mentioned, I have done everything up in a Google Doc over here that I will link below. So for example, the dynamic image URL goes in here. The link address goes in here, which is obviously in the document as well. And for the text block, everything you need to paste goes in there. And then for the CTA, I've also put the link for that as well. Obviously, you just need to change out the link in the default section here with your company's checkout page, right? Cool. Now, one final thing to note is basically over in display, you need to add the content repeat rules for abandoned checkout. Basically what this means is if a customer has multiple items they've added to checkout, it will show all of them, okay? So I'll just pop these in here. So repeat for, that's the tag there, and then the item alias is just item. And then you're done. So basically what that means now is when you go to preview, all of the items in the customer's checkout are basically going to render dynamically here. Now, I've done this in a client account. I've done this sample up in a client account, so I'm not going to preview it, just obviously for confidentiality purposes. But you get the idea. I have gone through and tested it. This is everything you need. It's basically going to render everything, all of the items that they had in their cart, right? CTAs. Now, what I like to do with CTAs is basically go through and link up everything, right? So put all of the links as dynamic links to take them back to their checkout, okay? Even if there's no direct CTA, it is still really nice, obviously, just to have the entire email linked so a customer can click wherever and basically go back to their checkout, right? Doesn't really matter. Cool, this is finished. The only thing we would need to add in this case is a footer, which I'm gonna go through and quickly do now. And this email would be pretty much ready to set live. Perfect. And here is the footer added in now. So this is using a really common footer style that we use for a lot of our clients. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Basically, you have the logo that links back to the homepage, all of the core links, basically your link bar. This is where you want to have it. Don't have it in your header. I know a lot of brands have a lot of link bars in the header up here. Not a good idea. You really want to focus, the entire email above the fold around clicking that one call to action. You don't want people to get distracted. So have it in the footer, all of your social links. And then another really important thing as well is if you use buy now, pay later software, so Afterpay, ZipPay, etc., make sure that those logos are in the footer, right? It just adds that little bit, of extra assurance for customers who obviously use those often. And you'd be surprised at the difference this makes in your click rate, okay? When people see these logos, they know, obviously they can use their buy now, pay later softwares, and obviously you'll increase conversions just based off of that. So that's our general sort of footer structure here. And this email is done. So this is an winning abandoned checkout email, okay? This is the exact sort of style that we use for our clients at Strike Copy, my email marketing agency, and it works extremely well. Obviously centered around the product, featuring the products dynamically, talking about the benefits and showing reviews as well. A1 email, right? If you do want help with your email marketing strategy and you think there's room for improvement with your Klaviyo strategy and you run an e-commerce business, book a call using the link below and we can chat potentially about obviously improving your overall strategy. Awesome. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to DM me on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., everywhere, and I'll get back to you. Thank you. Bye.